Welcome back to the Superheroes Everyday Podcast. I'm Danny Horn. I am here with Joe Lidster. Hello, Joe.
Sorry, just pouring another glass of wine. Haven't got the time to say hello. Let's get into Act 3.
All right, it's Act 3 of the 2022 five-alarm wide-awake nightmare that is Morbius. And if Act 2 was kind of confusing and hazy, this is what went on. This scene should be happening in a white tank top. The rules are very clear about this. When you've got an enjoying your power scene, white tank top.
I do it all the time. Pop into your local supermarket and just, you pick up a few tins of beans and you just suddenly go, initiate lockdown! And watch people panic. It's great.
And they do. They tell Michael you're coming with us, which is not true. He is exhibiting all the hallmarks of a guy who is not coming with people.
Because I'm getting angry. Because I'm stopping finding it funny. And what I'm remembering is the fact that you've made me sit through this film. And one day I will come to America and find you.
Because you've been looking for a cure for your condition your whole life, right? I mean, you've pretty much tried everything. And Rodriguez says, crazy experiments. Maybe on a boat? All right, getting into Act 3. I believe you were interested in discussing Martine walking down the street, which she does.
So much makeup.
With so much makeup.
So she's walking down the street wearing so much makeup compared to everybody else in the street. But then she goes into a shop because she realizes she's being followed.
Yep.
And here we get one of my favorite lines. FBI agent Strudel Rodriguez, or whichever one it is, says to the shopkeeper, "Woman in jeans, where did she go?" So my question is, as someone who, I thought this was the MCU, is do people not wear jeans in the MCU? Are jeans a rare occurrence in this universe? But this is the SSU. So do people not wear jeans often in the SSU? Because it feels like quite a nondescript thing to say to a shopkeeper. Yes, because that's literally what everybody wears.
He doesn't know, and she gets away.
He does know. He does know. Like FBI agents, yeah, he knows.
He's against the man. He doesn't like the man coming in, getting down on jeans. Where you know why? Because he's the few.
He's the few.
He's the few against the many. She gets on the bus, and then Michael turns out to be on the bus as well, which is
amazing.
This is incredible. You couldn't time that.
Well, we didn't know bats had that power as well.
To just show up on buses?
Bats are actually really good at knowing what buses people are going to get on.
So he has made contact. He says, I didn't kill any of those people. And Martine says, I know. He says, Milo took the serum. He's out there. I have to stop him, but I need your help. All right. Wanted fugitive for mass murder. And now they're having coffee together. Like on the bus, he had his hood pulled up because nobody can recognize you if you have your hood pulled up. Now they're sitting and having coffee in a coffee shop. His hood is down.
And being really chilled and relaxed and flirty.
Yep. Yeah.
Like a lot of innocent people haven't just died. And this is my thing with these kind of films. Like you just made me watch my worst kind of thing. Is that like literally, if one person had been killed, and you knew you were related to it, you knew there was some connection to it or whatever, you'd be like, oh my God, I can't believe this has happened. Right. You wouldn't sit there going, oh, have you been working out? You're looking a bit buff.
This is where Martine encourages him to take a sip of coffee because the coffee cup is in a little stream of sunlight. And she wants to see him get hurt for some reason. And so he reaches for it and he pretends that he's getting burned and he blows on his hand. And then he says, I'm not that kind of vampire. So so they know all about Dracula, but at least in this case, it's okay. He can be awake all the time because they want to have scenes in daylight as well as nighttime. So, and then comes the thing that makes me angry, that makes me the angriest that I can get about this movie, which is following the counterfeiters.
Right. Now, listen, I was so confused, and I will confirm I was 100% sober, and I watched this film, and he suddenly got obsessed with these two
counterfeiters.
Slightly attractive. Can we say attractive? I think it was slightly attractive. Counterfeiters, money counterfeiters.
Let me explain this for the nice people. They're sitting in a coffee shop. There's the cashier at the coffee shop, and young, kind of attractive dude comes and tries to pay for his coffee, I guess, with $100 bill. The girl swipes it with a pen. She says, this is no good. He's like, no, it's good. And he just gives her like more counterfeit money. He's just like passing out $100 bills. Here you go. And Michael can hear him through his like bat ears. And the other young man, semi-attractive young man, says, "Come on, man, we've got to get back to the lab." So Michael's
Yeah.
like, oh, they have a lab, and I need a lab right now, apparently. And so the guys walk away, and so he decides to follow them. He puts his hood up because he's made of stealth, and now he's just following down the street. And then something else happens, which is this is probably the most video game moment in the movie. Michael's following the two counterfeit guys, and then suddenly we see two EMTs entering a building. I don't know who they are or what emergency they're responding to. One of them says, "You got the blood?" And the other one says, "Yeah, I got it." And they have like these bags full of blood for some reason, for EMTs.
I was so confused. I don't know what was going on.
It's really a weird moment. You have no context for what's happening. And on the steps in the building that they're going into, they just leave another bag, which has blood in it. And Michael's walking by and he just picks up some random blood bags out of it. And then he just walks away. And now he's back to following the guys. It's video game like. It's like there's a crate and you just smash that crate and you get like, ammo and health orbs. That's basically what just happened. He just passed that. And so he just like picks up some blood. He keeps going. All right. Follows these guys. This, I think, is when the movie just loses its mind completely, where time and location just stop meaning anything at all.
Yeah.
The counterfeit guys like kind of sneak through a fence that's chained up. This is hard to say. An abandoned building, maybe, with a fence around it.
It's kind of city center. It's very city center.
Right, it's right in the middle of New York. And inside is like an atrium. There's no businesses around it. It's just like this space. Michael walks down some stairs, like into this atrium, and there is a counterfeiting science lab hangout space.
Yeah.
There isn't a door or anything. It's just there. And he kind of like just walks down the stairs and there it is. So it's these three guys who are running this counterfeiting operation. There's the two boys who we saw, and then there's another guy who apparently is watching a movie, which we don't see. We just hear the movie. And here's the dialogue. Michael comes in. He says, "Nice place you got here. Oh, I love this movie. Is this the part where the mysterious guy with the hoodie comes in and kicks everybody's asses? I love that part." What? And we haven't seen the movie. We have no idea what he's referring to.
I literally have no knowledge of where this film is set anymore.
What these images are even, they're just putting things in front of us now. So the leader of the counterfeit operation, the movie watcher, saying, "Who the hell are you?" And Michael says, "It doesn't matter, but I'm going to need your laboratory. You can keep all the money, all your little toys. Just leave the sciencey stuff and a bag of spicy Cheetos." Leave the sciencey stuff? What sciencey stuff do they have in this counterfeit operation? I don't know.
So I got confused because I glanced away from the screen and I thought, were they counterfeiting blood?
It's so baffling. And he says, like, "Are you trying to be funny?" And this is terrible. He says, no, absolutely not. I mean, that's their job. I mean, look at them. Matching necklaces. And that's like a diss from him on the two guys.
Chalk cuts up to the lines that are said as jokes, but aren't funny.
Are not jokes at all. Lead guy pulls out a knife and Michael goes about 18% vampy and just grabs his wrist and he forces him down to the ground. And then this is the worst thing ever. He says, "Did you know there are 27 bones in the human hand?" Crack, 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 crack. "Allow me to introduce the phalanges," crack, "and the metacarpals, and the pretty little stinky pinky." And he breaks all 27 bones. The pretty little stinky pinky. Explain it. It can't be explained.
Well, that's your pinky.
Well, I know what a pinky is, but like, why would you say that? Why would you say it like that?
Because he's in a film where nobody talks like a human being.
No, I guess. So he's screaming and says,
because also he is a lovely man who has suffered from a blood disease for his entire life, unnamed blood disease. And
now he's feeling better and he decides to take that out on everybody.
Starts to be quite sadistic.
Mm-hmm. And then he pretends that he's Venom. And he growls, and then the guy runs away.
That's Tom Hardy in another film, isn't it?
That's Tom Hardy in another film. Yes, it's like
is that part of the SSU?
Yes. So that is an actual joke. That's an actual joke.
So is that them trying to create the MCU in the SSU by having a character go, "Oh yeah, I'm Venom"?
That is exactly what they're doing right now. It's not interesting, but it's a thing.
Yeah.
The guy runs away, and Michael yells, 6 to 8 weeks, little ibuprofen. You'll heal up just fine from your 27 broken bones. It is just so head poundy, like trying to figure out what they were thinking.
I think what they're thinking is that's a fun. If you have superhuman strength,
Right.
that's a fun
That's
thing
what
to
you would
do.
do.
That's a fun thing to do. To
Torture
say the
people.
bones that you are breaking, to
Right.
torture people, but to say the bones you are breaking because you were used to be a doctor. But it
Right.
makes no sense in this film because he hasn't gone on any kind of journey into being a monster.
Right.
So if he
No.
was a monster,
Yes.
if he was Matt Smith, but Matt Smith had been a doctor and
Mhm.
had the knowledge of a doctor, then
Right.
Matt Smith would, I believe, grab someone,
Yeah.
break every bone in their body, and name every bone in their body. It makes
Mhm.
absolutely no sense.
When it's Michael. Yeah.
Like, it makes no sense. He would literally, in character, would be break a few fingers savagely and go, I
Apologize.
can break the rest. I'm really sorry, but this needs to be done. You need
Right.
to get out or I will break the rest because what I need to do is more important than me causing you physical pain,
Right.
but also you're a baddie.
Yeah. I know. Once again, like with the newsstand, it's like you only need to do one thing wrong, and then you deserve
Yeah.
every bad thing that could possibly happen to you.
I'm just very lucky because I've never done anything wrong in my
Yeah, no,
life.
that's really
So
good.
therefore I would absolutely never ever be a victim in one of these films.
So here we are in this space where I don't know what it is. He starts taking apart equipment that's mysteriously there and just like makes other stuff out of it. So he makes his own little spinny tube machine out of that. And then is the Matt Smith happy dance for about 30 seconds.
That was the best.
You like that part? Matt Smith all worked out and he's doing a dance and he does kind of a funny like 11th Doctor, I don't really know how my body works kind of dance.
I mean, I don't. It makes no sense in context of the film because we compare his journey to Jared Leto's journey, which was I become a savage monster who kills 10 mercenaries on a boat.
Right.
To I just dress nicely and look in the mirror and go, I'm quite hot.
Yeah. Well, I actually do understand it. Why am I defending this film? But it's his first time of ever being hot. Like he's been a sad cripple forever. And now
he still looked like Matt Smith and was super rich.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
He didn't look that bad in the early scenes.
He really didn't.
Still would.
I know. I don't understand why they do that though. And show them off like it's a beautiful thing that they've created, and then they cover it up after 20 seconds, and then that's the end of that. Yeah. We don't see that again. You get one little bit for Jared Leto, you get one little bit for Matt Smith. They're very hot, but really only as gifts, and then that's the end of that. They keep doing that face change where he like goes and he becomes all fangy, and they keep doing it kind of relentlessly, like the millionth time we're going to look at it and go, oh my God, like, how did they do that? It's like, no, y'all, we know that you have CGI. It's just not that interesting of an effect.
No.
They keep going back to that well, though. That's a very deep well for them.
It's never at any point played as anything important. At no point does somebody go, fucking hell, my face has changed into a monster's face. Mm-hmm. This is the most terrifying thing in the world. I was that innocent child you saw in the pre-title sequence. And now my face is a monster's face. No, we don't get any of that. You know, it's yeah. And you say it doesn't help that it looks just like Buffy.
And it's more impressive in Buffy because that was an actual practical effect. They had to like put stuff on their face. Whereas here, it just goes and runs through the machine and okay, now you got a vamp face. It's not impressive at all. But they are very excited about it. So where does Milo go now that he's all ripped and dressed up in nice clothes? He goes to a random crowded dark bar. I don't know why. He has alcohol at home. He has all the alcohol at home that he wants.
And I know what we're getting now is a very typical scene of, hey, yeah, I'm going to flirt with you. Oh, okay, I'll flirt back with you and take your drink. Oh, wait a minute. My boyfriend is literally next to me and will kick off. And the boyfriend is a twat. But the boyfriend is not a twat for kicking off. He's gone out with his girlfriend. The girlfriend has started flirting with hot British guy next to her and going, yes, I will accept a tequila shot from her. And boyfriend's like, wait a minute, I'm literally here.
Yeah.
You've not put any thought or anything into these characters.
And all he does is kind of express annoyance. I mean, it definitely, like, if Milo pushed it any longer than he would get hit, but he's just like, okay, well, I'm going to go. And they let him go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolutely bizarre.
I was scared because I don't like gore and I don't like blood. So I was scared when that scene started because I thought
he's going to go nuts.
He's going to massacre the bar And I'm going to be like, I was that person standing 3 feet away in a bar going, I did not part this.
Right, I'm not part of this.
It's
Yeah.
I watched this film going, I wasn't part of your story because I have a thing about innocent people being killed. And instead he turns around and goes, oh no, I'll be fine.
Yeah. So in the next scene, he's just like up on the roof and looking down at them like a gargoyle. He's been waiting for who knows how long because those guys were not just about to leave. He sits
No.
there up there just stewing like that. This is not like his blood is hot and he's all pissed off. Like he's had to sit there and think about this for a while.
This is bloody nerdy behavior.
Yeah.
This isn't I'm fueled by bloodlust behavior. This is like, oh, well, fine. I shall go off and I shall wait my time and I shall sit on top of this building and wait 4 hours until you leave. And then I'm going to jump on you from
Without
above.
the girl. I don't know.
Without the girl.
Yeah, a girl stays.
The girl's probably shagging someone else because she was happy to take drinks to anyone.
That's right.
It's
So
so
they
like, again,
yeah.
it's like every choice in this film is wrong.
Back at Horizon Labs / Children's Hospital / where the fuck are we? Martine, there's police tape up. There's like a little X of police tape in front of the room.
I really hope someone at some point in this film slashes their way through police tape to look cool.
Guess what they're going to do? Martine comes into the lab. So they have established this like counterfeiter secret lab somewhere. But now Martine has to go back to this lab. There's a little X of police tape and she just kind of ducks under it. And everything is still there exactly like it was, including the enormous glass pillar of hyperactive bats. They're just still there. Nobody's fed anything to them. Nobody seems to know what to do with this bat collection. It's just there. I mean, I guess I wouldn't either. Like if I saw that and I was like, I don't even like if the guy moved out, right? And the landlord looks at it and he's like, what am I going to do? Because you can't send him back to Costa Rica. It would cost a fortune. Of the many, many amazing Stroud and Rodriguez FBI scenes, this is one of them. They've decided that Martine is involved in this. And so they bust into her apartment. But what do they investigate once they get in there? Do they go through her drawers? The cat litter tray. Rodriguez sees a cat litter tray in the hall and he gets all excited about it and he shakes it. Rustle, 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 rustle. He says, here, kitty, kitty. Rustle, rustle, rustle with the cat box, which is not how litter boxes work. Like cats,
they don't get attracted by a litter tray.
They do not. They absolutely do not. They come if it's food. The cat doesn't come. And Rodriguez says, cat's gone. She's probably gone along with it. So now there's like a cat subplot in this movie.
Well, yeah, those detectives are doing their detecting work.
They absolutely are. And it turns out that he's right. Because we come back to that counterfeiter lab and Michael's tapping on a computer and there's Martine with her cat. So there really is like a B story about
who looked after the cat while she was on international waters.
And there's not, I know. Well, and it's like, there are so few characters in this movie. There are really no B stories at all.
No.
This is the first B story, which is about her cat. And she's opening a can of food. And she says, time to eat, you little monster, which feels completely insensitive under the circumstances.
Yeah.
Accidentally cuts herself on the lid and she drips blood on the floor. Yeah, because you got to watch yourself around the cat food. And Michael's sitting at his little desk and he smells the blood and he starts getting vampy in the face.
He's like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah, and she notices and she kind of snaps at him and he says, I'm sorry.
I didn't know she was full of blood, but now that I know that she's full of blood.
Now I'm aware of it. Yeah. But it turns out that she's kind of into it. It kind of feels like she kind of like drops some blood around and then kind of licks her lips. And she says, like, how does it feel when you want red? She's calling it red just to make sure that.
Yes. This was a bit where I really started to lose it. When she went, how do you feel when you start to want red?
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop nicknaming it.
I know. He says that something wakes up inside of him, something primal and super sexy, and he wants to hunt and kill, and she's into it. Please don't eat my cat, I think is part of the subtext. Another location problem. I couldn't figure this one out at all. He walks away from the counterfeit lab thing, which I think is basement level, right? He walks away. Now we're on a balcony and it's nighttime. There's a very romantic view of a bridge. This place it's a fantastic view. All of a sudden, this is real estate. And Martine somehow finds him on the roof. And now they're going to have like a little romantic moment on the roof. And so he says, for the record, I was not going to go full Dracula. And she says, for the record, I find him to be quite the romantic, which is like the worst possible thing.
She's quite a vile human being because
Yeah.
a lot of innocent people have now been killed.
She's into it, though.
That would be like if a new person right now was killing
Yeah.
gay men,
Yes.
and I found myself in a bar with him, and he went, "I'm the one killing the gay men," and I went, "For the record, I found Jeffrey Dahmer quite a turn on." It's like, no.
It's morning, and we cut to the parking lot. We're going to get some more character moments where Milo was hunting last night. Rodriguez has some more sarcasm, if we're open to sarcasm at this point. She says, do you know the average male body has 12 pints of blood in him? I mean, how much do you think the doctor can drink? Which is a very good point. Strahd says, I don't know. And Rodriguez says, well, when's the last time you had 36 beers? When's the last time you had any beers? What?
Oh, I thought you were going to explain that because I did write that down on my notes as, have I missed something here? Is this some kind of character beat?
Sounds like it.
Is he mocking it for being an alcoholic? I don't know.
Sounds like it. I don't know. And Strahd notices there's a camera, and he says CCTV, and that's his contribution. And Rodriguez says, I'll go grab the footage. I don't want you to have to move or anything. What? Stop trying to do character moments. You are not good at them. So they grab the footage, which perfectly captures Milo right in the middle of the frame, looking up at the camera, killing dudes. They see it's not Michael. And Rodriguez says...
Because that's the 11th Doctor Who, Matt Smith.
Rodriguez says, well, it's what these bloodsuckers do. They multiply. What? And then there's local news. Here's Nicholas from Greece. Here's the doctor, the good doctor. He's watching depressing local news where they're talking about 3 people found last night, drained of blood. And he's earning the killer the moniker vampire murderer. And they show a picture. They show a picture of Michael. And then they show the picture from the CCTV showing Milo, which is amazing news gathering, I feel. And so now the doctor's concerned. So he goes to Milo's place, knowing that he murdered several people. He just goes over to Milo's place. And then they have a whole scene where they act like there's some kind of character. If you want characterness, here's this little one-act play between the doctor and Milo. Milo acts like there's all this tension between them. So and so the doctor's like, oh my God, I can't believe you killed all these people. And Milo says, do you disapprove? What's the matter, Nicholas? Is Daddy cross?
Oh, Daddy is cross.
Yeah, I guess he is. And the doctor's like, Milo, you're scaring me. Please just calm down. What are you planning to accomplish here? And he acts like he runs this place. He's like, I'll stay with you and help you out, but there will be no more violence. And then goes into a whole thing of like, you always take Michael's side. They have not established this. This would not have been hard to establish. They have plenty of time in this movie. They have a whole movie to try and establish that there's some kind of dynamic between these 3.
These the FBI agents and establish short spent time on this.
They have not done that at all. Milo, his face goes vampy. He gets into this whole thing of like, there's no shame in what we are, which I don't know how he arrives at that. They're trying to do like a vampire pride moment, which is not backed up by the movie at all. Milo swipes him with his claws and leaves him there.
Well, he doesn't. What does he say before he leaves?
What does he say?
I'm going to kill as many as I want. And then where does he go? He goes to Martine and says exactly the same thing. So he doesn't go out and kill as many as he wants. Idle threat, Matt Smith. You literally killed nobody.
Yeah. Back in Horizon Labs, Michael and Martine are researching things. They're next to the bat cylinder for some reason. Like they got bored with their counterfeiter lab and now they're just back. We know that we heard on the news, the police are actively looking for Michael, but they are not staking out his lab. They're playing it cool. Like the police are still trying to play it cool.
Maybe they don't know that the lab's in the hospital.
Because who would ever think to look right in the middle of a children's hospital? So now Michael is trying to produce the opposite of his breakthrough. He's got a new serum made out of antibats. So this is an antibody, says Michael. It inhibits ferritin and induces a massive iron overload, instant hemochromatosis. So that's a thing that does a thing. And that's how that's going to go. And Michael says, I need you to go now. It's not safe here. Yeah, it's a crime scene that literally everyone knows about. Like your name and your face are on the
Yes.
news. He's not good at being a fugitive. And the doctor calls him and he goes to see the doctor and the doctor dies. And then Michael can hear Milo has swooped down and picked up Martine and taken her up to a roof
Oh.
because vampires love being on the roof. And so Michael he goes out on the balcony and his hair is just like billowing in the breeze, which is always very important. And he's using his echolocation animation to find the specific roof where she is. And then he explodes into action. He jumps off the roof. He's surrounded by purple and black smoke. He's kind of parasailing using his cloak, and he's kind of tied into her heartbeat. And he finds her lying on the roof, broken and bleeding. Both you and I have completely given up at this point.
Well, I wrote down her last line.
What's that?
Michael, make it mean something.
Yeah.
I mean, what a load of shite.
Yeah, she's gonna die. She wants him.
As a person writing a female character in a film that is dominated by men, do not have her say, make it mean something, as in, make my death mean something to you, men.
For you, yeah. And it's supposed to be sexy at the same time, which is great. He kisses her and she bites his lip and gets a drop of his blood. And she's very happy about it. She's kind of like licking her lips as she's dying. She's very happy. So really, like, yeah, she's a lunatic. Everybody in this movie is a goddamn lunatic. And there's Milo clapping and saying, you drank the red. And so now he's kind of like goading him into a fight and they just slam around in the sky. And at this point, it's just like mindless CGI. There's just like punches and falls. It's one of those scenes where people spend the entire scene like falling down off of buildings and then they still manage to land on a roof.
It's why I don't watch these films, because this is what happens.
I'm not going to say you're incorrect.
One of my favorite films is Speed. Speed is a film where I believe in everything that's happening on in it. I believed in all of it, you know.
And the action actually means something, yeah.
But the action means something. Superman in the 70s, Batman in the 80s. I believe in what's happening.
Right.
Once you start just becoming pew, 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 basically CGI blobs bouncing around a CGI landscape, I just don't care. I don't give a shit. And it's
and especially like there are no people here. Like they're kind of falling around and climbing around. There's all these buildings, but apparently there are no people in all of New York City. Yeah, the world it's just a place for them to fight, and that's it. And the music is really huge. And Milo picks up Michael and he throws him into a neon hotel sign and then grabs him.
Yeah.
And so they fall. And so Milo has a hold of Michael and they barrel into the sidewalk and crash through the sidewalk into some underground space. And then once again, where the fuck are we? This space makes they're in a huge cave, this enormous underground space with multiple levels. And I guess, is this the sewer? Is this like a factory?
I thought it might be the subway. Is it meant to be the subway?
But there's no subway tracks. I understand why you might think that. There are these big pipes and tunnels. It's just this huge like post-apocalypse empty dark space with a river in it. It's like an abandoned sewer subway station amphitheater something. I have no idea. It's the most baffling set in the world.
If I keep saying I don't know, can we wrap this up so I stop thinking about that scene?
Michael uses some kind of like special bat signal screech and it just travels through the tunnels. And then here comes somehow all of the bats, all those Costa Rican bats who were in that glass cylinder.
Have we got the ones out of the glass trapped thing?
That is apparently where they come from. Yeah, no, I think it's all of his friends, all of his woodland friends come to save him.
Who opened the glass?
I don't know. But here they come. And there are thousands of bats. It's an endless number of bats just coming there to be with Michael and just hang out. They don't do anything except kind of cluster around him and just fly and fly. And Milo is perplexed. And we are all perplexed. What is even happening at this point? And Michael picks up a pole and they have another like CGI fight. And there's just so many bats. It's just like the bats must not be unionized because they don't get any residuals. So you can basically have as many bats in the movie as you want. They pin Milo down and he hits him with the poison antidote. And Milo has a little sad. Do you want to say goodbye to Milo? Do you have any sad goodbye for Milo? Because he's doing a whole scene.
No, I don't give a shit.
Well, he's sorry. He says, I'm sorry. and then he dies. He's not sorry. But he says he's sorry, which is nice. He made the effort. They hear police sirens. Up on the sidewalk, there's cops and lots of people who are surrounding this hole in the sidewalk, and fucking Stroud and Rodriguez are there because somehow the movie is still pretending that these are effective characters that we care about and who are relevant. They've done nothing of any consequence, but of course they have to be here for one last moment where they don't contribute, where they're just there to peer down the hole, and then the world is alive with bats. All of the bats that ever were pour out of this hole and up into the dark night sky, along with Michael and his purple smoke, and now there's just like a cloud of bats in the world. And then, Joseph, super secret surprise twist, which is only surprising if you've never seen a single movie with a vampire in it before. Martine is there. She's on the roof. And her eyes open. And now she's a vampire.
Yeah.
And Morbius is flying around. And then we see the word Morbius. And then there's a lot of music. And then there's a bunch of like spinny spirograph credits. And that's the end of the movie.
But it's not, for a start, because there's some fucking post-credit shit that I do not understand.
Yep. I figured you might not. Tell me, there are two post-credit sequences.
Well, Michael Keaton is in a prison.
That involve Michael Keaton, right?
I think he's a baddie in a Spider-Man movie.
He is.
But not the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies that I watched. So I think he's a baddie in a Spider-Man movie, and he says something about Spider-Man. Mm-hmm. No, does he? Somebody says that in the next one. And then the next one, Jared is out for a walk, which is lovely. He's got over all the trauma.
Yep.
So he's out for a walk at night time. And then some guy dressed as a fucking eagle whizzes down and says, "This is about Spider-Man. We should all join together."
Yeah, with a huge, like, mechanical...
I've never hated anything more than what you've put me through tonight. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. If I hadn't hated the film enough, those two post-credit sequences made me hate life.
Can I tell you one thing that I don't think is going to make anything better?
Is it going to make me happier?
He's coming from another universe.
Who is?
Michael Keaton. That was the thing that happened in that prison. When he shows up in the prison, there's like the little like glow, and then he appears. That's because he comes from the MCU.
That's good to know.
Did that make you happier?
Not really, but he's explained it. And who's the bloke in the bird then? What's
him.
That bird bloke?
That's him.
What?
That's the same guy. That's Michael Keaton. I have another fact about this, which is this is actually a new scene that they put in for streaming. The scene, because the original scene from the movie that I saw in the movie theater made even less sense. And so Sony was like, well, that was crap. And so then they made another scene and put it in the movie. And now that's what we're watching. So this is the better scene. You're welcome for that.
I really hate life.
I know. I'm so sorry.
Can I never watch one of the not MCU, what are they? SSU.
The SSU.
Can I never watch one again?
I promise that you never will. Joe Lidster, thank you so much for coming on the show. I feel like I've broken.
I meant to say thank you back.
I don't know.
Thank you for making me watch that film.
I don't know what episode this is now, but I've never felt bad before. I now feel bad. What can I? It's okay. This is going to be the end of what can I do to cheer you up? I do. Okay. I do have one. You know what? I have one little bright spot. Sony is still trying to make SSU movies. There's 3 coming up. They're going to do one about Kraven the Hunter, who's the Spider-Man villain, in October. That's coming out in October, if you want to put that on your calendar. There's Madam Web, who is a good guy character in Spider-Man. That's coming out February 2024. And there was supposed to be a third one about a character called El Muerto, who is a Mexican wrestler who appeared in 2 issues of a spin-off Spider-Man book back in 2006. Like, I am actually a Spider-Man fan. I love Amazing Spider-Man. I read so much of it. I never heard of that guy before they announced this movie. They were planning to release it in January because they thought, like, obviously what we need is just back to back to back SSU movies. But it looks like it's not being filmed. It looks like maybe they're just not going to make it. So the good news is Sony may be gradually coming to their senses and saying maybe we should slow our roll on the SSU. That's my good news.
So good news is there's going to be fewer films like this.
Fewer films than they were thinking that they would make. Yes, that's my good news.
But not the one about the wrestler.
Right. Because they're not making that one.
That would be...
Is that that's the one that you would be looking forward to?
Why would you not want to watch a film about a wrestler? That would be the hot one. You'd have a hot wrestler. What we've just been complaining about this film all the way through is it's got hot blokes in it who take their shirts off in one scene.
I can't disagree. All right, it's all bad. It's all bad news. It's all bad news.
So you've literally ended the night on the worst note ever.
Joe Lister, thank you so much for coming on the show.
I'd like to say it's been a delight.
If somebody wants to find you and learn more about you and enjoy your work, what would you like to tell those people?
I think your best bet is to find me on Twitter. I am Joseph_Lidster, Lidster. You can find me on Twitter.
Are you still making Big Finish things?
Yes, I hope. I'm
Great.
sort of doing it, but that's the plan. Just working on a few things, being paid to write a play, which is very exciting.
That is exciting.
So work's going okay.
Yeah.
If I can get it done. But your best bet if you want to follow me is go to my Twitter page, and there's a link to my Linktree page, which links to my YouTube and Facebook.
Fantastic.
What about you? Where are you?
I am at superheroeseveryday.com. And for more comedy about the history of superhero movies, you can go to my blog, superheroeseveryday.com. If you like the show, please leave a review, or you could reach me on Twitter, Facebook, or on the blog. It would be great to hear from you. And please tell everybody about the show. Joe, you're going to please do that. Tell all the people in your life all about the show.
Yes.
And here's what's coming up in the next episode. Next week on the show, Ryan Steens is back, and we talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It was recently released on Disney Plus, and we have things to say about it. The reason why these people are here is because it gives Scott and Cassie an object for their charity, where Cassie says that we can help. We're white people. There must be something that we can do. We're rich white people from San Francisco. We must be able to help.
We got right into it, and my first thought was, oh no, we have to spend 2 hours here.
Looking at this. And it's cute. I like this kind of. I love the cantina in Star Wars.
Sure, yeah.
It's so obviously the cantina, though.
What is his name? Who is he? What's his backstory? This movie doesn't have any idea how to make a movie.
I mean, they did make a Black Panther movie without Black Panther. So I suppose if Kang has a little sister, then maybe that could work. We could bring in Kanga from Winnie the Pooh. All right, get excited for that. Joe, I love you. Everybody, please come back next week for the Superheroes Everyday podcast. Thanks for listening. Love you.
I will be.
Yay.
I'll be there.
Awesome. Love you. Bye.
The nice place that you got here. I love this movie. Is this the part where the mysterious guy with the hoodie comes in and kicks everybody's asses? I love that part.
Who the hell are you?
It doesn't matter, but I am gonna need your laboratory. You can keep all the money, all your little toys, just leave the sciencey stuff and that bag of spicy Cheetos.
He wants my lab.
Yeah.
You trying to be funny?
No, absolutely not. That's their job. I mean, look at the matching necklaces.
Time to go.
Did you know that there are 27 bones in the human hand? Allow me to introduce the phalanges, the metacarpals, and the pretty little stinky pinky.